Welcome to Align and Arise, the podcast for wildly ambitious women who want to break free from the struggle, build a life without limits, and create success, wealth, and happiness completely on their terms and with way more than just the money in mind. I'm Abby Rogers, therapist, mentor, and abundance expert, and I'm here to help you create anxiety-free freedom and wealth that aligns with your soul. Let's dive in. Hey, so great to be back. I hope you've all had a wonderful summer. Today, I really wanted to just share 3 of my top tips for getting the motivation and focus flowing now that we're in back to school zone, now we're in the last few months of the year. So I went live in my Facebook group, my Facebook community, Muddy Boots and Champagne Flutes last week. This is a new development. I'll tell you all about that in a moment. And just shared these 3 top tips, and I thought they would be really helpful for you as well. Now, Muddy Boots and Champagne Flutes is a brand new community that I have set up as I was really leaning into what I wanted to create going forward over the summer. And I guess I've been feeling some friction for quite a while in terms of how I gel with the online space, and just I find that quite often I'm just feeling a bit out of place. I'm feeling like there's so much kind of glitz and glamour and massively aspirational stuff in terms of like yachts and massive houses and all that sort of stuff, and that just doesn't really fire me up. It's not what motivates me. It's not what gets me really excited, and it's not why I created my business. I mean, most definitely I want to create wealth and financial freedom and stability for myself and my family, and to not have to worry about money. And that's fortunately pretty much where I've got to now. I have a very comfortable passive income and things are feeling in a great place right now. But what really motivates me as well is this just desire to be able to work when I want, as so many of us entrepreneurs get into this whole game for that particular reason. To be able to go out and enjoy the world and explore and adventure and do all the things that I love to do. And it just really came home to me this summer, like how much I love being out in nature, how much I just really enjoy going off on an adventure, sticking on my hiking boots, and just enjoying being alive and in nature and seeing all the beautiful things around me and just really engaging with that. And I'm quite a hiker. In the past, I've done quite a bit of rock climbing, the odd bit of climbing alpine mountains, which was just the most amazing moment ever. And I love my stand-up paddleboard. I don't often stand up on it. I tend to sit down or sit in a bit of a yoga pose. But just like being at peace and in nature and just enjoying being out there. Love the odd bike ride. You know, I'm just kind of a hands-on tree climbing, get muddy, get a bit dirty, night under the stars, spend hours looking at a sunset, watching the waves crash, that kind of girl. And that's a huge part of what I want my life and business to look like. And to me, that is one of the real drivers. So I've set up this group basically to connect with like-minded women, because I'm just feeling that we're kind of ignored out there. There's, like I say, so much of this aspirational stuff, which is wonderful and all well and good if that is what you are particularly keen to pursue. But I wanted to just connect with real kind of down to earth, passionate about life, you know, want to live big, want to live out loud, and just enjoy every goddamn moment type of people as well. So it's called Muddy Boots and Champagne Flutes. And my plan is to go live in that group every week and share some tips for mindset, for things like relationships, and just to help and support and inspire you on your wealth creation and freedom journey. So I would love you to join us in that group if that really appeals to you. If it doesn't, then absolutely feel free to keep listening to the podcast anyway, because you're going to pick up some fantastic tips. But this is the very first one of my weekly lives, and I thought I would share it with you too for some inspiration and insight. And we're going to be doing a lot more in the group, so I'd just love to see you in there if that really appeals. Enjoy. Momentum is really what I wanted to talk to you about today. Yeah, momentum is a really relevant topic, I think, at the moment, because this is a very changeable time of the year. All of a sudden, we're kind of catapulted into a change of season, a change of pace, and there's that lovely whole kind of back to school feeling of, it's almost like the new year, isn't it? There's a real kind of fresh start, fresh notebooks, pencil cases out at the ready. We're all of a sudden back into it and raring to go. And I know for some people it's feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I've got all my plans. I'm going to get my head down and get stuck in, and I'm so excited to get on with it. Some of you are a bit more like, ooh, I don't quite know where I'm going now. After the summer, I've kind of lost all my momentum and energy, and I don't quite know what to do from here on in. And I think for some people it's a bit of a mixture, like you've had some good ideas and you've had some plans through the summer, and then all of a sudden you've got back to it and sat back down to start the work, and it's like your brain's gone into freeze mode and nothing's coming all of a sudden. Yeah, so I wanted to just share 3 little tips to kind of help you either get in the zone if you are struggling with momentum at the moment, or just kind of keep things flowing over the next few months, because I know it can be a time of ups and downs, and certainly I've found with clients this tends to be a time of year where they feel a bit unsettled, a bit uncertain. So the first one is just to check in with whether you've really had much of a break. If you are one of the people who has had a big summer and been busy with lots of other stuff, and you've taken your mind and eyes off your business or project, all of a sudden you kind of come back to it and it's just not happening. You've got like no energy for it. It can be that sometimes like we think we've had a break and we've not really given ourselves an actual break from thinking and working, and our brains and our energy levels have just been kind of on the go all the time, even though we think we've had a holiday and a break. So if we've just spent the whole summer like running around after everybody else, ticking things off a list, having all the fun, making all the things happen, and we kind of tell ourselves, yeah, I've had a good holiday, I've had a good rest, we haven't really rested because we've been so on the go all the time and so busy. And our brains need that downtime and space to be able to sort their stuff out. So if we are busy doing anything, even if it is a break from our projects or our businesses, then our brain's just still like occupied all the time. It doesn't have time to just relax and breathe and process all the stuff that you've fed it before. So if you've had a brain full of everybody else and everybody else's plans and lots of exciting stuff, and you've taken some time out and you just can't quite work out why you're not feeling on it when everybody else seems to be, don't feel bad about it. It's not you. It's just that you maybe need to give yourself a little bit more grace and a bit of an actual mental break to be able to come back to it with focus and clarity again. So try not to get into beating yourself up or feeling guilty or feeling hopeless or blaming yourself for it, because we often do that when the creative juices won't flow. We're sat there going, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Try not to do that if you can. Try to just accept where you're at, allow it to be that way, and say, okay, maybe I need a little bit more time out, and to trust that things will come. So maybe give yourself a little bit of breathing space, a day off or something, just to really allow yourself to reconnect with where you are and what you want and where you're headed before you go and dive straight back in, rather than like running from one thing into another. Let yourself have that breathing space. I often say to my clients, like, taking time out from your business and from work and from thinking is actually productive in itself, because when you're just trying to force it and your brain's just not working and you just kind of going, come on, come up with the goods. You're just kind of sitting there for hours and nothing's coming up and you're not making any headway. Whereas if you give yourself that bit of breathing space, a little bit of time out, even if it's just a couple of hours for a walk or something, that can often get the cogs to start turning again and allow things to flow and build momentum. And before you know it, you're coming up with all the ideas and it's all happening again. The second tip then is just to make sure that you do have something of a firm plan for your brain, because we need the instructions for the sat nav to work properly. Now, I am definitely not one of life's planners. I love to freewheel it. I love to just kind of deal with things as they come along. It suits my personality, suits my energy. I get bogged down if I have too many plans and things, and it kind of feels boring and overwhelming. So I love the spontaneity. However, I've learned that I still need a plan and a bit of structure to work towards. Otherwise, I'm just kind of faffing about and going nowhere. And, I can sit there for ages and nothing actually changes. So, we need to put the instructions in the sat nav, and it doesn't need to be a full-on detailed step-by-step plan. It just needs to be the overarching theme. You just need the kind of overview of where you are going to stop your brain drifting aimlessly so it knows what to do. And things shift, and often we've had this kind of change of pace in the summer where we've backed off for a bit, or things have just been a bit different and our priorities change, life changes, stuff moves around, and if we don't check in with those shifting and changing tides, we are going to subconsciously be fighting against all the stuff that's gone before, because deep down we're resisting exactly what we are trying to do. So we're kind of working to the old plan unless we've revisited it, and our brain's like, no, the old plan doesn't work anymore. I don't want to be there. I want to be over here now. But we haven't given it the instructions for how to do over here now. So I've just spent a couple of hours today just checking in with what I really want to accomplish from now to December, which is a little bit sad thinking about Christmas time, but it's really helpful to just say, where do I want to be 2 or 3 months down the line? Have a look at that bigger picture overview. What are my real priorities in life and in business and in anything else that you are doing, any other projects? And I've just done some mapping out for me of how that's going to work for my schedule and for my self-care and my energy levels, to make sure that I can accomplish what I want to without it all just feeling utterly overwhelming, because it's easy to just launch into things without giving any sort of thought to how it's all going to fit together, and then just find you've got no space for the important stuff. So I've been walking my journal subscribers through this because it's just so helpful to get clarity and blow away all the cobwebs at this time of year and just be clear the decks. Where are we going? What's the plan now? And the first thing I've had them do is just to write down literally everything that they've got in their heads on that massive ongoing to-do list right now. So it's just brain dump everything, just get it all out there, put it all down on paper, every last little thing that you've been telling yourself you need to do going ahead. And just that in itself sometimes can be so powerful in helping your brain sort the stuff out and just see how it might all fit together, rather than it just feeling like this kind of constant spinning mass of stuff. So if you haven't done that and you're feeling a bit lost and a bit procrastination-y and you don't quite know where to go next, just big brain dump and just see what transpires from that. It's really, really powerful. And so the final one is just to make sure that you are factoring in things to basically make up for the shortfall in your brain chemistry as we go into the darker months and this different season of the year. And so things that are going to keep your motivational brain juices flowing for the next few months, because the supportive brain chemicals like serotonin that we need to just be flowing happily all the time to stay motivated, to keep coping, to stay calm and in control, they can really drop off a cliff when we're not in holiday mode anymore. And as the evenings start to draw in, light levels change and all that stuff. And that can just really kill our motivation and our energy dead and make us feel like we're all over the place all of a sudden. So it's blazing sunshine out there right now, but it's good to be prepared. And I've worked with a lot of people who just really struggle each year with SAD and really notice the shift. And yes, it's to do with light levels, but it's not just about the sunlight side of things. It's about the fact that we stop getting out and doing all the things we were doing over the summer. And we stop all the fun, we stop all the interaction, we stop feeling able to do so much. And we start focusing on problem solving and firefighting for the winter months, don't we? We're like all of a sudden focused on a big to-do list for the C word, rather than just getting on and enjoying life. And we need to really just make sure that, as well as doing all the stuff we feel like we have to do and get done at this time of year, that we are building in the things that bring back that joy and connection with nature and our energy, and just help us really kind of keep ourselves up there while we're dealing with all the stuff. So just make sure you're building in the things that you need to do to keep your brain in a happy place. So breathing space, the exercise, the things that bring you joy, the happy relationships. Try to basically keep a bit of that holiday spirit alive, and you'll notice a massive difference in how easy it is to focus and just keep that motivational fire burning all the way through until the new year. So I really hope you found that helpful, and do let me know if you've got any inspiration from that today, if anything's really hit home for you. And equally, feel free just to reach out and get in touch if you have something that you would particularly like me to talk about, either on the podcast or in my group. And the name of the group again is Muddy Boots and Champagne Flutes, and I would absolutely love to see you there. Take care.